In the last couple of modules, we've taken a detailed look at scaling and questionnaire design, which are at the heart of survey research. In this next module, we will step back for a broader view of the design of surveys, that is, the methodology. We will first briefly discuss the various contact methods used in surveys. Telephone surveys have long been the main contact method for surveys in the US. The major advantages are that it is a relatively cheap and quick method of reaching a large, geographically dispersed sample. Interviewing takes place in a centralized facility and calls can easily be supervised for quality control. Dialing is done by computer, typically using RDD, meaning random digit dialing. RDD makes it possible to generate a truly random sample. Telephone surveys have been a mainstay of researchers in the US for decades, but they are rapidly losing ground for a number of reasons. First, many consumers, especially those under 45, no longer use landlines. This implies that with telephone surveys, there is an increasing risk of the sample being skewed upward in age. Second, even among consumers who have landlines, there is research fatigue or cynicism as a result of high exposure in the past to researchers and to telemarketers and scammers posing as researchers. Consequently, the response rate to surveys has been declining over time. Mail surveys have the advantage of being lowest in cost. Since the respondent can fill them out at their own convenience, a mail survey can also have a long questionnaire, provided that the topic of the survey is one that the respondent is interested in or is high involvement, that is, for example, from a service provider that the respondent patronizes or about their opinions and attitudes about social issues. Another advantage is that the respondent can be anonymous. However, the downside to mail surveys is their low response rate. For example, 1% is considered to be a good response rate for a commercial direct mail survey. Another problem is that data collection takes a long time because of the time taken for the survey to be delivered, completed, and returned. Personal interviews can take place in a variety of contexts. A popular type is the mall intercept, where members of the target population are intercepted at a shopping mall, screened for eligibility, and invited to participate. While this may elicit a high response rate, one needs to be aware that shoppers in different malls often have different characteristics, and that needs to be factored into the sampling design. Executive interviews refer to interviews of senior managers, typically conducted in the respondent's office. Door-to-door interviews used to be a common method of data collection around the middle of the 20th century, when a homemaker was likely to be at home when the researcher arrived. As the demographics of the country changed and more women joined the workplace, this method fell into disuse because the only people who could be found at home were retired or unemployed, leading to increasingly skewed samples. Personal interviews are useful in that they are highly flexible, with the interviewer being able to do a variety of things such as probe certain responses, do product demonstrations, etc. Also, as noted, the response rate tends to be relatively high since most people feel uncomfortable refusing a face-to-face request to participate. However, the face-to-face nature of the personal interview also creates a high risk of bias in the responses, as we will see later. Interviewers also need to be highly trained to elicit good data, and as a result, they are expensive. Personal interviewing is by far the highest cost data collection method. The newest method of contacting respondents is via the internet. The earliest online research was conducted by sending questionnaires by email, but that soon gave way to surveys hosted online. Currently, there are both web-based and mobile platforms for data collection. Online research is now the largest data collection methodology worldwide, representing over 20% of revenues for the research industry. It has some obvious advantages, such as speedy data collection and respondent anonymity. But there are some big challenges as well, among them the low completion rate due to spam filtering, and the difficulty of getting a random and representative sample since there is nothing equivalent to RDD with this methodology. But researchers work around these challenges by using panels of pre-recruited and profiled participants, which gives them quick and cheap access to target groups and the ability to collect information both longitudinally, that is, over time, and cross-sectionally, that is, with a cross-section of the population at a point in time.